Crossing from Baja to mainland Mexico is pretty straightforward with a vehicle. We arrived in La Paz on Friday trying to take the ferry, but the customs was closed and we wouldn't be able to do it until Monday. So we spent the weekend down in a little place called La Ventana. We came back on Monday and got our temporary import and our Baja Ferries ticket for the Tuesday after that. Getting the temporary import was pretty straightforward. The guy at the office was super helpful. You only need 3 things, which is your immigration form, your vehicle registration, and your passport, and then a copy of all those 3 things. It cost $59 in the fees, plus a $400 deposit per motorcycle. Any vehicle older than 2017, it's only a $200 deposit, but any vehicle newer than 2017 is a $400 deposit. So even though we're motorcycles, we still have to pay the same amount that any car or RV or anything would. The next day before heading back down to the port, we were checking over our tickets and our temporary import permits to make sure that everything was correct. And we realized that the VIN number on my temporary import was wrong. So we quickly went down to the port to talk to the guy, which they apparently cannot fix there. It has to be fixed in Mexico City. So he told us to come back in about an hour or 2. So we went down to the beach, came back. He had it all ready for us. He was very excited. And when I checked it again, it was wrong again, and they had messed it up in Mexico City. So we had to call them back. He said, hopefully this time it should only take 30 minutes. It still ended up taking an hour, and during that time waiting, people were loading on the ferry, especially a bunch of motorcycles, and we were very stressed about it. Finally, at around 4:30, he finally had the papers done, everything was correct, and we were able to go through customs. Going through customs was super simple. All they did was check our temporary import and make sure that the VIN number on that was correct to the VIN number on the motorcycle, as well as looking at your ID, and that was it. Then you went and paid your port fees, which for motorcycles, it's one base price of 96 pesos. They also measure your vehicle. And then once that's done, you go into the ticket office, get your official tickets printed, show that you paid your port fees, and then you can load onto the ferry. Loading onto the ferry is kind of a crazy free-for-all. Somebody might point you in the direction of where to go, but basically for motorcycles, look where the other motorcycles are and strap yourself down. You have to bring your own tie downs, and you have to find where to strap yourself down to. There's little bolts and things here on the ground, but other than that, it's all your choice. Once you're done strapping your vehicle down, you go up to the upper decks of the ferry where you'll be staying. If you don't have a cabin, which we didn't, you can always ask reception if there's a no-show or extra spots available for a cabin, and they will put you on a waiting list and they'll call your name in the order of the waiting list if they have available cabin. Getting a cabin is well worth it to get a good night's sleep before arriving in Mazatlan, because the ship is at least a 12-hour ride. For us, it took 14 hours. So you definitely want that if you want a good night's sleep before arriving in the morning in Mazatlan and having to deal with Mazatlan traffic and all the other touristy things that are going on around you, like people trying to sell you things and stuff.